An assassin and a mafia man, match made in heaven. Drama, complex, messy, juicy, shenanigans. This is it. He was her pet. I'm not even playing with you. It was interesting. It was intriguing. It was different. Like, 2 PP? She had to take 2 PP? Hi wonderful people, and welcome back to my channel, Book Craves. I am Giselle. How are you going? What's up? What's the scene? What books have you read lately? What books have you been enjoying? So this is kind of a wrap up. In the month of April, I read approximately 44 books. I am not kidding you. I was like binge reading. I was going through books left, right, and center. I'm just going to talk about my favorite reads for the month of April, and I do have quite a lot. I started series, I read standalone, I read black love romances, interracial romances, mafia romances, cute, sweet romances, books that made me bawl my eyes out, and I'm going to share it with you. So if you want to see what are my favorite reads, what I've been falling in love with recently, then keep watching. Make sure to follow me on my various social media platforms. If you have not, just head over and give me a follow. And if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, subscribe now. I have my smoothie here because I'm going to do a lot of talking. So first up is The Sacrifice by Shantel Tessier. Oh my goodness. I was waiting for this man's book. I wasn't shocked. Like, at this point in time, within this particular university, this particular series or world, I shouldn't be surprised by the level of darkness in this secret society. If you have not read any of these books, I suggest you start off with The Ritual. The Ritual is where it begins. From there, you move on to The Sinner and then The Sacrifice. This story is fantastic. The Sacrifice, you have all type of backstabbing, betrayal, revenge. You also get to meet characters from The Sinner and The Ritual. And Tyson, he's good. He is following in his father's footsteps only to be set up. And when he extracts his revenge, oh my goodness, the plot twists in this book, the spice, like I enjoyed everything in this book. There's nothing that I didn't like. I enjoyed all 3 books, but I'm still going to say of my 3, this is how I will personally rank them in terms of the level of my enjoyment. It's going to be The Ritual, then The Sacrifice, then The Sinner. To me, The Sinner is the darkest of them all, but all of them I gave 5 stars to. If you don't like dark books, don't touch it. Please, please, don't touch them. Don't read them. Lily's Ash by Sarah J.D. Now, this is your reverse age gap. This is giving Mrs. Robinson. Okay, you have at least 20 years age gap between them. Ash is around the same age as Lily's twin son. Lily, she has issues, and how she deals with those issues is unaliving people. Lily's Ash takes place in the same world as Dante's Storm, where they're trying to take down an illegal crime ring. And you have like the love interest, Lily and Ash. Ash was in prison. He came out. He's staying with Lily and she is trying to help him, get his foot back on the ground. And one thing leads to another because he has always been crushing on his best friend's mom. Like, you might think it's like, I don't think I would enjoy something like that. But listen, read it. Like, the story itself is really good. The plot is good. I enjoy the characters. I'm going to say that Lily, she's twisted. She is twisted, but you know what? Ash has elements of her twistiness. That's a word? Twistiness? Twistedness? But they complement each other. This book. Oh! Listen, this book had me crying. And I shouldn't be surprised because every single time that I read a book by Brittainy Cherry, I cry. Like the level of emotions her writing is able to evoke in me causes me to cry. Like I tear up. And this book, The Coldest Winter, is no different. Like, listen, I'm getting goosebumps. I read this book at the beginning of April and the emotions, they're still there. My heart rate is picking up thinking about this book. This is your messy, complex, beautiful story. We meet Milo and Starlet, and Milo is having a difficult time dealing with grief. Starlet, she is also having a difficult time with dealing with grief with someone that passed away very close to her. They are both having difficult times dealing with death and grief and coming to terms with it, but they're dealing with it in completely different ways. And their path crosses because Starlet, she's volunteering to tutor students in the high school that Milo attends. However, they met at a college party and hooked up. So you have like a forbidden element in this book. You have that forbidden element, teacher students, between Milo and Starlet. Oh, this book is a must read, and I'm going to say it now. I'm sure by the end of this year, this is still going to be one of my favorite reads for 2023. I kid you not. It's that good. It's that good. I received an advance reader copy for this book, and I'm in love with this man. But I love this man. I love this man. I love everything about this man. Xavier, I love him. And if he existed in real, I would want to date him and marry him. That's how much I like this man. So in this book, we meet Alyssa and Xavier while they are in college. However, Xavier, he has his girlfriend who is Alyssa's roommate. There's no cheating taking place. I know you guys. There's no cheating, right? And so they meet up 5 years after. By this time, Alyssa and her roommates are no longer best friends, and Xavier is no longer with her roommate. They meet, they hook up, and Alyssa, she picks up herself and she leaves. And Xavier, he's looking for her. He's like, where are you? Like, he's looking left and right. She's nowhere to be found. When they reconnect 10 years later, he's like, nope, I'm not letting you go. And he locks her down. He's like, I'm not going to let this second chance pass me by, period. And he didn't. He was quick. He locked Alyssa down quick. He didn't do, there's nothing dark about this book. He didn't do anything like underneath per se. But anyone that was causing problems for her, he dealt with it. He's like, nope, not my woman. He dealt with it. I don't know what this author is doing to me. Miss Bianca Xaviera, I don't know. But I read 2 standalones by her and a series. Same author. Yeah. And now I'm obsessed with her stories. I don't know what it is she put in this, but I am completely obsessed with her stories. So let us begin with Scorpio and Zola. This one is living in my brain. It's living in my mind because this story, it is so messy. So messy, but I can't help but love it. Zola gets married very young to a gangster who is now coming up in ranks. She is going to university to get her doctorate. He pays for her. He carries her through her many years at university because her parents cut her off. Only for this person, only for this man to cheat on her because she wasn't doing certain things the other person was doing. Ha 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 ha. When she finds out, she's so heartbroken. She ends up meeting Scorpion. And Scorpion, he is running the gangster show. Like, he is in charge of everything. He has illegal businesses as well as legal businesses. But he has a fiancée. Did I not tell you that this was messy? Completely messy. But this story was so intriguing, so engrossing. I inhaled, I devoured this book. This is it. This is it. This is it. I also read Fallin for the Enemy. Again, it is another black love romance. Yes, there's gangster theme in this book. This story is centered on Brittainy and Xaviera. Xaviera, she grew up mainly with her father. Her father is in illegal activities. He owned 51% shares in different companies, illegal and illegal. He has a business partner, and his business partner is trying to get him out. So he goes into hiding. But before he goes into hiding, he trains this girl like a Navy SEAL. And she goes to live with her mom, who is supposed to be dead legally. And she just wants to be a regular 17-year-old teenager. And she meets Brittainy, who has taken over from his father. And his father and him, they own the 49%. Boom, enemies. But they don't know they're enemies. And they only find out that they're enemies after they fall in love. So how do you come back from that? How do you come back from knowing or thinking that your boyfriend and supposedly child father might want to kill your father, but your father should be dead? Like, this book, messy. And then I read You Ain't Got to Be Perfect. 3 books in this series. They're all connected, all centered on the same characters from book 1. We meet Darie and her boyfriend in high school. They are seniors and they're graduating to go into college. However, her boyfriend wants to go to one college and she chooses to go another. Her parents want to force her hand, but she's like, no, I am doing this. She finds out that her boyfriend is cheating on her, but she takes him back, goes to college, and she meets Synovus. Synovus, he is a gangster. He is involved in illegal activities. He has tattoos, and she's scared of him. Turns out there's this incident, and you know, they get to talking, and she thinks he's gay. So she befriends him thinking he's gay. One thing leads to another. She's still thinking he's gay, right? And then her boyfriend, who's in the other college, gets, you know, vibes. Oh, something is wrong. She's not talking to me how she's supposed to be talking to me. Let me check in on her. Only to find out that Synovus, he isn't gay. And he has a whole fiancé with a child on the way. This is another messy story, but listen, there are trigger warnings in this book because Darie's high school boyfriend experiences certain things when he gets to college. Turns out she has to help him. Like, juicy, messy. You get to see Darie from moving from high school into college, into a career. You see where she gets married, who she gets married to, how close she remains friends with whoever her main love interest with. I don't want to say too much spoilers, but this is one that I devoured. I inhaled this. I'm like, damn. I know I want to read her other books. I'm not even going to kid you. In May, I'll be reading another one of her book series. I kid you not. This is so good. I read Wishing for a Star by Anna Balen. This book had me in tears too. This is another one that pulled at my heartstrings. I couldn't help but empathize. I can help but cry because of what the plot or the story is centered on. You meet Danny and Sam. So boy meets girl. They fall madly in love with each other. They get married. They're ready to start a family. However, they have been having miscarriage after miscarriage. And this takes a toll on their marriage. So they decide to do IVF. And that in itself, the first time didn't work. And they really want to have a family. The writing is good. The characters are good. The storytelling is phenomenal. You go present to past and you come back to the present. I love when books are able to do that and transition seamlessly. Oh my goodness. When I tell you I cry because I felt it for Danny. And I felt it as well for Sam. Like I was able to relate to the characters because of the writing. I enjoyed this book. I haven't read books that have made me cry and feel so much emotions in a while. Besides this book and The Coldest Winter by Bethany Cherry, I haven't felt like this level of emotion, empathy, and all of these other emotions and feelings in such a long time. You know, this was a must read for me because I've been following the DeLucas, and this is no different. Stefano De Luca, she wrote the prequel. She also wrote Enzo De Luca, and now this is Stefano. They are stepbrothers. They call Stefano the silent beast. He's deadly. He has traumatic life experiences that occurred during his childhood, and that has significantly changed him. It has significantly impacted his behavior and his life experiences altogether. So they call him the silent beast. He's very much deadly when it comes to fighting. And then we meet Sienna. She herself experienced a lot at a tender age, which shaped her into being an assassin. And so because her best friend, who's with Enzo, disappeared, she goes to Italy to get her. And she meets the silent beast, not knowing that her best friend is in love. But they hit it off, and it's because they could connect and because they both experienced things at a very young age. They go hand in hand. There's this particular scene where they fight, and it's like both of them don't want to go down. It's like it was epic. It was an epic fight, because how often do you read books where the hero and the heroine, they are both deadly, they are both great fighters, and they fall in love? Like, I really enjoyed this story. Like an assassin and a mafia man, match made in heaven. Take me with you. This was on my April TBR. I saw the cover, I saw the name, I read the blurb, and I'm like, I need to read a book. So I read the book and I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it as much because I was surprised. It wasn't what I expected. It wasn't what I got based on my interpretation of the blurb. But in this book, we meet Yasima, and she's dealing with a lot. She lost her husband, and so her stepsister invites her to vacation with their friends. So she goes to Utah, and everyone is coupled off, and she's single, and Kincaid is single because his girlfriend just got a job and moved to France. So they decide, you know what, I'll hook up. Only to find out that he hooked up with one of his best friends when they were in college, and creates like a whole ripple effect. And then he pursues her. They hook up again, only for her husband to come back. Like, it is messy, but it wasn't what I thought it would be. It's a good story. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it. But for some reason, I thought it would have been like a type of like, I don't know. I like the characters. It is spicy. It's nice. I love the twists in the book because I wasn't expecting some things that I got in this book, which is a plus for me. Okay, so I read this series by Delaney Diamond, Family Ties, And it's Ethan, Monica, and Audra. Ethan is book one. They're all siblings, by the way. So Ethan is book one, and Ethan has been in a relationship with his girlfriend Sky for 7 years. And Sky broaches the topic of when are we going to get married? When are we going to start a family? He's like, what are you talking about? What marriage? I've been married before. It didn't go well. I don't want to get married again. Like, marriage is off the table. And Sky's like, what? Like, I don't want to be wasting my time with someone and it doesn't result in getting married. And so she decides, you know what? It doesn't make sense. Let's end this. Okay? I can't give you any more. It's a really nice, quick read. And then Monica, this is your second chance romance. Monica and Andre, they were in a relationship in college, and Andre took the fall for something that Monica did. And her family blamed Andre and wanted him to stay away from her. They meet 9 years after. And one thing leads to another. He almost cheats. He was found in a compromising situation with Monica by his fiancée. But he broke things off, and I respected that man. He didn't carry on a whole affair. He didn't cheat, technically. He didn't cheat. He ended things with his girlfriend before he pursued anything seriously with Monica. They were great together, real cute. And Audra, which is my favorite of all three, they can be read as standalone, but I'm just going to say, with Audra, you met Audra in book one, and you could tell from reading Ethan's book that things were happening in Audra and Damien's marriage. There were issues in their marriage. So the trope in this book is like marriage in distress, marriage woes, because they had gotten to a point where they were sleeping separately, like they weren't talking, and Audra decided, you know what, let's just file for divorce because it doesn't make sense. I don't know if you love me. Like, you keep saying you're here for the kids, but I don't know if you actually want to be with me, you know? So I enjoyed that, you know, played with my emotions. So I absolutely loved it. Heartbeat. This one is your grumpy, sunshine, secret baby, romantic suspense. Like, so much happened in this book. We have the heroine, Maya, and she is running from her boyfriend. Like, she's very intelligent. She's a business owner. She has everything going for her. She's dealing with grief. Her mom passed away while she was in high school. And so she runs away because her boyfriend gets extremely abusive, and he has money. His family has influence, and she decides, you know what? I cannot be with this person. But because of his influence, she has to go into hiding. So she goes to a small town and she meets Mike. Mike returned to that small town after a year. His father was a nasty cop, a bad cop, a compromised cop. And so he's trying to deal with that and ensure that people see him on the straight and narrow road. Now remember, Maya is running away from stuff. While she's starting a new relationship with Mike and things are going super well, there's always someone looking for her. And so she's still remaining under the radar until they find her. Listen, drama, complex, messy, juicy, shenanigans. This is it. This is it. The Vampire King, y'all. The Vampire King. I love it. I love it. I love it. Listen, every book that Kenya Wright has dropped this year, I've read. If I haven't received an arc for it, I read on release day. So in this book, we meet Camille and Xander. And Camille, she is a human domino. She has a special type of blood that the king of the vampires wants, and they paid a hefty price for it. Camille sacrificed herself for her family and her tongue because they were going through hardship. and now she gave herself basically over to the Vampire King, and she remained untouched for 2 years. And now she wants to go back because she's tired of this life. She's tired of seeing what the king does to any male child born with a certain marking. And so one of the king's daughters decide to help her, and so she has these two guys helping her to take her home. Only one decides to take her to her small town. Then she realizes that he has that mark, but by then they have already started falling for each other, and he drinks her blood. Drinking her blood causes him to change, and he doesn't know what he's going to change into. Like, there's so much mystery. But not only that, Camille, her blood is special. It's not a regular Domino's blood. She has a special made blood. Read this book. That's all I'm saying. I was so intrigued. Like, I haven't read a fantasy or paranormal in such a long while that have gotten me so excited, because I'm left on a cliffhanger, and I'm hoping that the second part comes off soon. Fingers crossed here, y'all. Fingers crossed. I read Unleashed and Unleashed Sin. This is your interracial organized crime book. However, although this is organized crime, most times it's the hero that runs the crime organization. In this one, the heroine, Remy, she runs the crime organization. She took over from her father, and she believed that someone that she's close to killed her father. The hero, Yavok, he was imprisoned, and now he's taken from his prison and tossed into a fighting ring where he has to fight to save his life. And the payment that he's asking for is her. He's half Finn and half Russian. But the way that their relationship starts is very intriguing, and it was surprising because Remy had a fiance at that time. However, trust is something big in criminal organizations, and she felt as though every male that was close to her, she couldn't trust. They were all out to get something besides Yavok. Like, his only goal was to live, survive, and please her, which is exactly what he did. This has some very dark elements to it. Like, he was her pet. I'm not even playing with you. And I found that was quite interesting, because I haven't read a mafia quite like this. And the second part is a continuation from the first part, where you see into their future, where Yavok and Remy, they got married, they have kids, but Yavok, he is trying to step out and show that he could help her more in the crime world, but he messes up. And she has to put him in his place and say, no, this is not for you. This is not where you belong. Like, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. This was nice. It was interesting. It was intriguing. It was different. So I was surprised with this book. Normally, this is not something that I would enjoy, but the Billionaires Arrangement and the Billionaires Fascination intrigued me. So this book follows the same characters, Paul and Nadia. Nadia, she's from a small town. She did not grow up with a lot. She was abandoned by her mother, and so she was adopted by this family, this elderly family that could not have kids. So she wants to go off to college, but her father, he's ill. Her adoptive father is ill, and she doesn't want to go. She wants to stay to help them, and so they encourage her to go. She wants to study fashion designing. She gets to New York. She's in college, but she isn't having luck finding a job. She needs money. She wants to help out her adoptive parents. And so one of her friends said, you can go to this place, you can become a surrogate, and you'll be able to have money to help with college fees, surviving, and help out your family. She doesn't get through, but she happens to meet this guy there, and they hook up. He takes her to lunch. He gives her his business card, and they talk. Another one of her friends suggested that she goes to the sugar party. She goes, but she realized these elderly men, you know, she felt so uncomfortable, and her friend drugged her. She messages Paul, and that is how they start up. And he's like, listen, I'll provide this, I'll provide that, and things are going really well between them. And then, boom, her friends deceive her. I'm enjoying this rich guy, poor girl, age gap book. Like, definitely, it's not something that I read, but I'm enjoying it. And it ends on a cliffhanger, so now I have to wait for book 3. Right? On top of that, he's not looking for love. He married already, and she passed away, and he has no qualms. He has no inclinations. He has no motivations for wanting a permanent girlfriend or a wife. Yo, I absolutely enjoyed this book. Love from a Young Hustler. Now, this is not something that I usually read. This is not a typical book that I read. But I came across this book and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. So Love from a Young Hustler, it is a slight age gap. There's roughly maybe 5 to 6 years difference between the hero and the heroine. The heroine, she's plus size. She's also a single mom. And she is involved with these guys that are only providing her with material things, right? But she wants to be loved. She wants to be cared for. She wants to have someone that she can say, hey, this is my man. Not someone that comes when they want a booty call. Not someone that just shows up, hey, I brought you a Prada this. I bought you a Gucci this. You know, she doesn't want that. She wants more than materialistic stuff. And her baby daddy, he's all about materialistic. The guy that she thought she was in a relationship with has kids on the side and only comes for booty call. And so she meets Zay. And Zay is like, listen, I'm not like those other guys. Like, I'm here for you, baby. Let me know what you need. Like, he is all there. Like, he's ready to move in with her. He has to prove himself and show her, listen, I'm not like the guys you're accustomed to. This is me. This is what I want. And he lays it all out for her. Like, I devoured. This is another one that was I enjoyed the writing. I love the characters. I enjoyed the story. I like the twists, because you know there must be some twist here. I enjoyed the twist because she gets roped in to their illegal activities. Okay? I read part 2 to this. It's like a short novella, like 30 pages, just a short story. And you see into their future. I read this book because a friend was like, Giselle, they have 2 PP. I'm like, what do you mean they have 2 PP? She's like, you have never read this series by Theodora Taylor? I'm like, no. Listen, all she had to say was 2 PP and I was a goner. Like, so I read Her Dragon Everlasting this month. And indeed, he had 2 PP. Okay, so we'll get into the story. So the heroine, she was in a mental institution because she believed that she had a twin sister. And everyone is telling her, no, she doesn't have a twin sister. And so she runs away and she goes to this gate. Now, she is a wolf shifter. She comes from a family of wolf shifters. So she gets to a gate because there's also time traveling involved in this book. And she time travels, but she didn't realize where she went to and what time she went to. And so she met the hero, who is a dragon. He has shifter dragon features, but he's also from another planet here doing research. And so they find out that, listen, they are fated mates, like a wolf shifter and a dragon shifter. And he cannot speak her language. She doesn't understand what he's saying. But once they become mated, they're able to communicate, you know, in their minds. They have a son. Life goes on, but she still hasn't forgotten about her time in the future. And so she wants to go to the future. She ends up in the future though, but it's what happens to the future when she gets there. Because nothing is like when she left it. And she comes to the future pregnant with twins, as well as her son that she had while in the past with her fated mates. Listen, when they meet up again, like, this book, it had twists, it held suspense, it held mystery, the spice was there. I love the time travel piece. Normally, I'm not a fan of books with time traveling, but I enjoyed it. But if I had read other books, right, other Dragon Shifter books, then I would have realized that her father and her grandfather also time traveled. So, but nevertheless, I enjoyed this book. Like, 2 pp. She had to take 2 pp. 2 after never taking none in her life, because she's also a virgin heroine. She has to go to the past to find her mates with 2 pp. Hey, this is why I will never stop reading romances. I will never stop reading books, fated mates, soulmates. No, because there's always something that will just throw you off of your game and have you in awe. I was definitely dumbstruck. So I received an advance copy of this book. So I read it early half of April. And listen, I need part 2 now. I'm not even kidding you. This book ends on a cliffhanger. And I thought it would have been a standalone, not realizing that it's part of a damn series. So this book is focused on Rose and Dominic. Now, we meet Rose and Dominic when Rose's sister is getting married to Dominic's brother. And Rose realizes that her sister has marks that she's been abused, but she cannot understand why. Why does she want to get married to someone? And Rose is ready to call it off, but she's like, no, she acts very scared. And then once they get married, Rose realizes that she can't get in touch with her sister. And Rose is like, what the hell has my sister gotten into? On top of that, Dominic is like, he's ready to step up. He's like, listen, ma, I like you. I'm attracted to you. And he pursues her. They start dating. They get together. Crap happens. And she has to move in with him. And then she realizes that something is going on with her sister. And for nothing, her sister would tell her what is happening, what secret she's holding. Even though things come out in the open, who gets unalived, she still is not going to say. And their both parents passed away. And now I want to know what it is her sister, Elsa, is holding on to. What secrets that could possibly have this girl remaining in an abusive relationship, in an abusive marriage, not saying anything, almost dying. Like, so this one has me in a chokehold because I need part 2. I enjoy this book. This book was refreshing. Normally I don't enjoy celebrity romances this much, but I enjoyed it. And this one, there are other celebrity romances that I've spoken about on my channel that I absolutely enjoy, and this is going to add to that collection. So in this one, it is your second chance romance. The hero and the heroine, they were childhood friends. During their teen years, they decided they'll go study. They were prepared to start a relationship, and boom, the same night they decide, yes, we're going to be boyfriend girlfriend. Something traumatic happens. They are torn apart. 12 years after they see each other, the guy goes on to be a international rap star, music legend, and she in the video industry. And so she's going to do like a documentary of him, let him share his side of the story, because things happen in their past that would affect both of them. He's holding on to a secret that could cause them to break up after they reconnected, after they realize how much in love they still are with each other. Crap could happen. And when he spewed what he said, what did she do? She can keep her mouth shut. So, I like this one. In my April TBR, I said that I wanted to read Savage Roses. The story just like piqued my interest, but I did not read the previous parts. So what did I do? Before release day, I read Forbidden Roses, Wicked Roses, and Twisted Roses, and I also read Savage Roses this month. That's 4 books by one author. And I will admit, from the beginning of the series, I was in a chokehold with Salvatore and Daphne. They met while in high school. Her father is the DA and his father is a crime boss. So from the beginning, you're like, what? Enemies? That's why it's a forbidden relationship. In Wicked Roses, you meet them while she is in college. They start something nice, something terrible happens to her that changes the way that she thinks about crime. She, in her book, everything's black and white after her incident, and when truths about her father and who is involved in criminal activities comes out, and people who she knew wanted to harm her, she sees that gray area. She goes down a path where she starts to engage in illegal activities because she feels as though the justice system that she's a part of isn't working, because it didn't work for her. And you have Salvatore, he's still trying to bring down his dad because his dad did terrible things to him. And then you see where they are both trapped by the father, by his father, only for it to be revealed that the person he thought was his father is not his father. Like the mystery, like the emotions this book pulls from you, like you are so captivated. Like if this story is going to have you engrossed, you are going to be reaching from one book to the other, because that's how I was. And I timed it perfectly. By the time I got to Twisted Roses, I could have reached for Savage Roses. This series is good. This series, it's been a while that I haven't read a series like this. And it's like you have like the good girl, bad guy. You have the DA and the underboss in a relationship. Like, how does that work? The secrets that his mother held on to. Like, it's gonna mess you up. It's gonna mess you up. I'm just saying. It's gonna mess you up. This is also an interracial romance. Like I wasn't mentioning which books were black love, interracial. Sorry about that. Then I read Wicked Throne and Wicked Reign. Now the 3rd book was supposed to be released in April. It didn't happen, but it's coming out this month. But I'm totally prepared for it. So in this book we meet Diamond. Her father is a crime boss. He is dying. He's leaving everything for her. But before he dies, he wants to ensure that she's protected and that she gets married to the right person. And so he does that. This person, their family was shunned out from their crime syndicates, marrying the heroine. This is going to give them the power and the backing and the finances that they need. Turns out that someone was out to get the hero because of something his father did. And then by the end of book 2, her stepmom was out to get her because she felt that she didn't get what she deserved when her dad passed away. On top of that, you have these 2 people in this arranged marriage that don't know each other, that's trying to make things work, that results in a pregnancy that no one anticipated, and she doesn't know if he's dead or alive for a couple of months, and she's there trying to live her life, hold his businesses together, hold her businesses together, run their crime empire. Like, it's a lot. Run her legal businesses. Like, listen, this book, I enjoyed this book. However, there were some typos, some grammar errors, but outside of that, I like this. I enjoy this, and I need book three. I need book three. That's all I'm saying. Because now she's in prison. At the end of book two, she's arrested for a crime she didn't commit. So I wanna know. I wanna know. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I enjoy this fake dating. I could fall in love. It's exactly that. So we meet the heroine. She just got out of an abusive relationship. Her husband was very controlling. He controlled every aspect of her life on top of being physically abusive. She's out partying her life because she's free, single, and disengaged, only to meet up this man that offers her everything. He needs to get married before his dad passes away so that he could again inherit what he needs to. But she ends up falling in love. He doesn't know how to handle his feelings. Like, this is a nice book. Definitely read this one. This is one that I will be recommending in the future. No, I enjoyed all these books. So at one point in time, I will be doing a recommendation. It just depends on the type of recommendation that I'll be doing, that I'll feature these books. But know that you'll be seeing this in the future. I enjoyed this book so much. So much. Like, I cried. I cried because what this girl went through, what was done to her parents, oh my God, it's so heartbreaking. Because love said so. This book. So we meet the heroine. She's going out. She's at a party. She meets this guy and they start to hook up. And she runs away. She's like, this is not me. Now, her both parents died. Her grandmother died. And all she has left is her grandfather. And she's taking care of her grandfather. She's holding down the household financially. She has her younger brother in college. And she has no one caring for her. So he's like, Ma, I want to be with you. Like, I seriously want to be with you. Like, I'm not even on games. I've been looking for you. I want to meet you. I want to take you out on dates. Like, who's there for you after you care for everyone, after you give of yourself to everyone? Who is there taking care of you, right? I want to do that for you. And so they start up having a nice relationship. They get married. Everything is peaches and cream. And then his past comes back to bite them in the back. Can they survive that? Like, this is a praying dude. He's like, listen, I am so serious about marriage. I am so serious about this relationship. Avian and Samson, yeah, I enjoyed Avian and Samson. This is a relaxing, this is what I would say, it's cute. I would recommend this as, you know, a lighter read. There's nothing dark about it, but it is a sweet story because, he wanted her. He pursued her, he got her, and he did what he had to do to keep her, which involved plenty praying, apologizing, being supportive, because their marriage was hit several times with several devastating blows. Like, read it. Okay, so that's the end. Like, I don't even know how many books I just spoke about, but I know it's a lot. But these are the books that I enjoy. These are my favorite reads in the month of April. These are not all the books that I read, but these are the ones that had me crying, laughing, smiling, giggling, definitely relaxing, enjoying, devoured, and consumed. All right? These are the books. So thank you so much for watching my video.